Hello everyone, Happy New Year. Welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie. Today's video I'm doing kind of a tongue-in-cheek and feeling a little bit sarcastic and silly, just about lots of things politically. The landscape is crazy and life is silly and crazy and hard sometimes. And yeah, I'm just feeling like I need to talk about the New Year's resolutions of an autistic mama. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the silliness, but also the seriousness behind some of them. So I'm going to read some of my notes because I've been like ruminating on this since I've been off, taking some time off. And I hope that you had a wonderful Christmas season. Oh, a beauty during that time. The first one is I will feed my children food that they're willing to eat and should sustain them until the next day. For this, I will pat myself on the back and go to sleep without any guilt. I think especially in the world of autism in particular, there's a lot of you should not be feeding your children this, that, or the other thing. And I know that's across the board. All children should never eat sugar and all children should never eat chemicals. And I've just gotten to this place watching any of the stuff that they talk about with that goal in mind, that pretty much everything that we feed our children is, so you're going to find somebody who says it's poison. You are absolutely going to find somebody who says, flour will kill our children, and sugar, processed sugar, is going to kill our children. And like all of these things, it's going to give them cancer. It's going to, there's so many different things that we can do. And even if you try to be that mama who, lives off the land, grows her own food, if you are lucky and blessed enough to have a green thumb, that there are contaminants in your soil that are doing the same thing, or your drinking water, the water that comes from the tap. There's so many different things. So I've gotten to that place where, yes, my children eat gluten. Yes, my children eat sugar. Specifically, my autistic son eats both of those. We try to mitigate it a little bit, but I'm done. I'm done trying to be, I don't know, super mom, but super scientist, super X-ray vision. This is what's going to hurt our children. And so therefore I'm a bad mom because I fed them that without, I can only do what I know. And right now what I know is everything is going to kill my children. So if they've eaten today and it sustained them another day, woo, I win. Number 2, my child will eat sugar and watch screens, and I will do my best to mitigate overindulgence, but I am resolutely refusing to beat myself up about living and surviving. So we talked a little bit about sugar, and I'm going to go into it a little bit more. So with my son, he is highly motivated by sugar. If you are starting out your autistic journey and you are able to start off with saying sugar equals bad, poison, and your child has never once tasted the delight of sugar candy, I am so happy for you. Way to go. God bless you. And I hope that that continues to be something that your child never wants. When I first had my son, I was literally raised on a sugar-based diet. And again, it's not anyone's fault. It was the 80s and my parents were very much not cooks and chefs. And so they did the back of the soup can, Campbell soup can, spaghetti, which had sugar and vinegar in it. And our sloppy joes were ketchup and brown beans in brown sugar. My parents did a sugar diet, and when my husband and I got together, that was I would make him stuff from my childhood and he'd be like, Like, and he was super kind about it. He doused his sloppy Joe sauce with like soy sauce so that he could tolerate it. But I didn't ever grow up thinking that sugar was a poison and that was going to kill me. And with my son, we still hadn't reached that point where sugar equals cancer or any of those things. And so he didn't have tons and tons, but he did have some, and he is highly motivated by it. So I joke around that I had a choice. I could teach my son to read, or I could teach him not to have sugar. There was not they were not mutually exclusive goals. They were definitely like, this is a motivation for him, and this is what he needs in order to motivate him to do pretty much anything. And I can beat myself up about it. I can look another thing with the autism is they shouldn't be on screens. And unfortunately, in my family situation, if Darian is not on screens, he is destroying his sister's room. He is tucking things behind articles of, furniture and out. Yeah, I found a teddy bear that my mom used to have thrown up on my roof. Like, so I can allow him screens, and that keeps him busy and happy and joyful until it's my time to work with him. Or I can allow my house to go completely crazy. I can give him 0 sugar and we will have a whole lot of other issues or problems. So I refuse to feel guilty or beat myself up about it. Nope, not happening. Number 3, on the hard days, and there are, on days when I feel like no progress is being made or it's going 7 steps backwards, I will cling to the days where we saw greatness. And the reason why this one is something that has resonated with me is because I recognize that, and this is very much to do with the homeschool thing as well, is that with our typically developing children or our special needs children, there are going to be days and times where it wasn't a good day. It wasn't a good day, or we slogged through and were exhausted and done, and there might be attitudes, there might be all sorts of things. And by me choosing to focus not on those days, but on the days where something awesome happened, Darian said a sentence I've never heard from him before, or my daughter has finally gotten her multiplication facts down, or whatever the case may be, it helps me remind myself that those hard days is what led up to this beautiful day. So if I'm having a difficult day now, who knows what that is going to produce in the long term. And some individuals might look at that and go, that's rose-colored glasses. And I truly do not believe that to be the case, because your ability to say, this too shall pass, is integral to you not living in the suffering and the frustration that is that day, or that you do not carry that feeling, that frustration for multiple days or over and over and over again. Now, I've had bad weeks, 100%, but the difference being is that I am not willing to sit in it and stew in it. And sometimes that's minute by minute. Sometimes it's, okay, that minute was bad, but oh, we were laughing about something. Or I'll turn on music, and music is a great motivator for everyone starts singing, or they laugh at mommy because she purposely dances the most ridiculous dance in the world with crazy hair flying, because I want to change that mood. I want to, exercise it out. And 2 minutes later, once the song is done, it might go exactly back, but it might not. And so see, crazy hair. I really want to make that the overarching of my parenting journey is that mom found joy despite her circumstances. Number 4, I am going to exercise and sleep as best as I can, but I am not going to judge myself against anyone else. And number 5, because they kind of go together, is I'm going to embrace my body. So for all of you mamas out there who have had children and you have sacrificed your, 20, 30-year-old body for your children, and you are busy and are taking care of your kids and doing the best that you can, and you do not look like the superstore model or the supermarket magazine superstore model, or you look in the mirror. I'm turning 45 in a couple of weeks, and I have a hormone imbalance, and I'm trying to get all of that figured out and worked out. But I have sags and bumps and lumps and like freaking out skin and wrinkles and the whole 9 yards, right? And it can, again, just like the number 3, is I could focus on that and I could go, man, you look old. And I could look at it and be disheartened. I still take care of myself. I still wash my face. I still use product. I have one of those like lymphatic drainage things. I still walk on my treadmill, but I can't do too much exercise because that'll bring up my cortisol. Like, there's so many things in the background, and I've had to learn slowly but surely that this body has produced 3 amazing children by God's grace, and I had to have C-sections for every one of them, and I have extra weight because my body is just doing the best that it can with what it has. And I am tired a lot because my son doesn't sleep very well, which means I don't sleep very well. And I have to be okay with the fact that I'm still crushing it. I'm still crushing it. There are times where I look at it and go, I didn't get homeschool started until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So too bad. I do not look like the homeschool mama who gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning and does her quiet devotions before her kids get up. And I don't make sourdough. And there's nothing wrong with any of that. If you are that mama, awesome. You're the woman across the room. And yeah, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. The issue is that it's an unrealistic expectation for me. And so I need to remind myself that, yeah, I'm not going to have that life, and that is okay. And there are times where you look at that and you're like, oh, that looks so peaceful. And boy, that would be so nice if it looked like that. And there are times where I'm like, your life looks so different, and that's okay. That's okay. Your life is still joyous and has a purpose. And I look at my kids and where they are compared to even how I was when I was their age. And I'm like, we're crushing it. They're doing good, and they have joy, and they have all sorts of things that I didn't have for a variety of different reasons. But I need to not judge myself based on an expectation that isn't doable in my set of circumstances. Sometimes you'll hear the phrase, that's not the time that I'm in. And I don't know if that time for me will ever happen, because Darian will be most likely with us for the long term. And I'm okay with that. And I wouldn't have it any other way. So the idea that I'm trying to marry these two things is silly and redonkulous. Pardon? Okay, 1 more minute. So with the body aging and changing and having the hormonal imbalance and all of that, my body's incredibly strong and incredibly able to do the things that it needs to do. I don't need to walk a runway. I don't. I don't. I don't need to look 20 or 30. I need to embrace the body that I have and be thankful for it, because without it, I don't have my children. And if you've watched previous videos, I've been told by a doctor that my children are miracles all by themselves, and who I am, the joy that I have, is a miracle in and of itself. And so again, like, I need to remind myself every single time I see someone on Facebook or whatever, YouTube, and I'm like, that is awesome for them. That's not my life, and I'm okay with that. The one thing, the resolution, if you can call it that, that kind of overarches all of them is, God leads me by my choice to bend the knee to him and follow his plan. I choose to trust God for me, for my son, for my girls, their education, and my marriage, and everything. I trust him implicitly. And that means that all of those things that I talked about, he is going to bring up anything that I need to change, anything that I need to adjust and switch and move and whatever. He is the one that's going to change that. My insecurities, the things that I look at and go, oh man, I wish it was different, or I wish, that's not reality. And especially when it comes to like educational choices and stuff, I've come to the place where I really go, God, I have to plan for high school for my Inara coming up, and I literally have no idea. That's never happened to me when it comes to planning for any of my children. I usually have everything that I'm going to be doing locked down before Christmas so that I can buy the books on the sale that happens Boxing Week. And I did some of that because my Sienna isn't in high school, and so I did some of that. But yeah, like I'm sitting there going, God, at this point, I need you to guide me. I bought some things for her high school, but not lots, not everything. And I am okay with that, weirdly enough. I think it's been a process of God working on me for the last 2 years, as I kind of went like, oh my goodness, she's going into high school and there's so many things I don't know and I need to know. And my homeschool facilitator passed away really suddenly, and she was like, that's what you have me for. And I'm like, God, like it's just crazy. So I'm going to close with the hymn that we're singing this month, because it literally, I'm listening to the lyrics of this hymn and going, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So, he leads me, O blessed thought, O words of heavenly comfort fraught, whatever I do, whatever I be, still 'tis God's hand that leadeth me. He leadeth me, by his own hand he leadeth me. His faithful follower I would be, for by his hand he leadeth me. And there's 3 more verses, and I'm not going to read all of them, but essentially I look at it and I go, all of those things that I talked about in this video, he leads me, and it's my choice whether I choose to follow him or I go my own way. And every single time I go my own way, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I'm freaking out, I'm trying to do things in my own plan, and every time I relinquish it and go, God, what do you want me to do next? What do you want me to do next? Every single time I do that, I am calm and at peace. And especially with my autistic son, he knows his brain. He understands Darian so more completely than I do. And I have learned that I could try and bumble my way through. I can try and beat my head against a brick wall to make the changes that I deem worthy in his life, and it's all for naught. So I have decided, and this is truly The Autistic Mom's New Year's resolution is to continue to choose every single day to follow his plan for us. I hope this video has been a help, that has been an encouragement to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my videos, and welcome to all those who are new. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.